Bonjour once again from Paris, France. This is the Intoxicated Sports Report, and I am Emerson Hitt. He's Gates Emoji, and sitting again in with us, Miss Devin Wallace. Here we are.
How's it going?
It's going.
Good.
She's trying to rip open her little bottle of bubbles. Let it fly. Just shoot it into the ceiling.
No.
Oh, it's ready. Nice. There we go.
There we go. Open these for
We are
us.
here to report post Super Bowl and, of course, post Champions League PSG match from last night.
Do we have to talk about it?
We do.
What? Why would you want to talk about it?
We'll get to it.
There was a little bit of sadness involved, but you know.
Yeah, but mostly happiness.
Cheers.
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 Today we have switched up our beer of choice. This is Lef La Legia.
I'm glad you tried to pronounce that because I would have absolutely botched it.
It seems a little like wheatier than the last one that we have, which it's gonna be our second beer. Those 1664s.
It's gonna be our last beer
Yes.
of the trip.
Of the trip,
Well,
yes.
Yeah, probably.
Trying to kill the stash.
Yes,
Maybe
we've been
we'll
putting in
have-
work.
In the airport tomorrow, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's true. We'll see. It'll be pretty early in the morning. But never stopped us.
Yeah.
Like you said, last day here, last episode in Paris. It's time.
It is time.
I think it's time to go.
Yeah.
It's been a really, really great time. Unforgettable experience. But
We put into the work.
put a lot of work in. I miss home. And yeah, that's pretty much about
Been a
it.
good trip, yeah.
It's been a great trip.
Yeah.
I've had really good times.
Should we also finish off this frappin' while we're here at it?
Frickin' frappin'. Yeah.
There's hardly anything in here, but we're gonna just polish it off together.
See ya.
Say goodbye. Yes, we did drink those out of espresso cups. If you're wondering.
There's no shot glasses in this Airbnb, so this is the best that we can work with.
Favorite moment from the trip?
Favorite moment from the trip. Probably Versailles.
Versailles was cool. No. Very cool.
What about you, Dev?
Oh, probably the game for me yesterday.
The game was really fun.
Yeah, for me it was the game too.
The game was really fun. I mean, I didn't forget about it, but I think seeing Versailles, it was just incredibly beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's huge.
Yeah.
But the game was really fun. Like especially in the second half, towards the end.
Yeah.
You watch soccer, and quite frankly, to me, it gets a little boring watching it.
It's a slow moving game. Or can be.
But being there, it was just, I told you, it was peak ISR. It's
Right.
peak podcast for us.
Yeah.
Because we actually made this plan. People voted on it. Thanks to Sal again. And we made it happen. We came to France, we came to Paris, and we saw the Champions League game, PSG versus Bayern Munich.
Yep. Which I know a lot of friends that are soccer fans that can't say they've been to a Champions League game, so we got that.
I mean,
A little bit of a flex.
we got to see Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe play.
All on the same field.
He didn't start, but they're all on the field at the same
Yep.
time. That's like seeing Messi has to be the soccer equivalent of seeing Kobe or LeBron,
Right.
Or maybe even like Steph. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like one of those people.
Right.
So the fact that we're able to see that is incredible within itself. I don't even really think won't ever put it into perspective for a while. But yeah, I got to see Messi play
Right.
in the flesh.
Yeah. No,
And
you're right.
Neymar and Mbappe, who's going
Yeah.
to be a great player for years to come. But to me, Messi's the big one.
It's probably one of those things we'll look back on maybe like 10 years or more from now and be able to say, we went to a Champions League game and saw some legends.
Absolutely.
I will agree, though, I think my favorite non-game activity that we did was going to Versailles. That place was pretty awesome.
It's just so cool to think that somebody lived there.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
that place is ridiculous.
And seeing the Eiffel Tower to me, like, every time we passed by it or even walked somewhere close to it, I couldn't keep my eyes off it. I don't know why.
No, it's
It's one of the ultimate landmarks.
majestic for sure.
We got to see it for the first time coming back from the game in the Uber,
Oh,
and it was lit up.
Right.
We hadn't seen it lit up, and it had the light on top, and it was kind of circling around the
Yep.
siren. And it was even more beautiful lit up.
Yeah.
I really thought it was.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, just it looks just like a piece of copper metal,
Yeah, it does. It's not the prettiest looking thing. I expected it to be a little more gold,
Yeah.
but it's still beautiful. I wish we could have walked under it like you have in the past, but they changed things now, and that's not just how they do things anymore. They figured, hey, we could charge people for doing this instead of just letting people do it. So
Right.
I get that. You gotta make your money. underrated part of the trip, and I'll tell this story forever, is when I think it was the second time we went to the Eiffel Tower. And so around the Eiffel Tower, they have these people who are having you sign their name for
Some fake petition.
It's a fake petition, and Devin saw this thing on TikTok where these people were trying to distract you, and then people come behind you and to try to steal your stuff from you.
Yeah.
And so they're trying to make you sign your name down for a petition for blind and deaf people. And I think we both denied it initially the first time we went,
Right.
or something like that. We saw people do that,
Yeah.
and
Well, it was also suspicious because the lady like put it in front of us and she was just like running her finger across the words, not reading it.
no, she showed it to me, and I was like, no, I'm okay. And she
Yeah.
kind of gave me this look, and I'm like, no,
Yeah.
sorry, I'm not gonna do
Yeah.
it. And so the next time, I think we told each other the next time we went to the Eiffel Tower and we saw these people that we would say we didn't speak English.
Yeah. Because the first thing they say is, "Do you speak English?"
They do, yes.
Yeah.
So they look at you and they kind of feel like, oh, they probably are Americans.
Yeah,
There's
they
a
look
lot,
like
of
Americans.
lot of tourists.
Right.
And so the second time we were there, this woman came up with the clipboard to Emerson, and she asked him, "Oh, are you guys American?" And he looks back and he goes, "No habla." And she's like, "Oh, okay." And she starts to walk back to wherever she was, and Emerson goes, "Fuck yeah!" So stoked. Like it was his crowning achievement from the whole trip.
I think what was so like satisfying is that I did not expect it to work, and it worked perfectly.
You said no habla, and she just walked away. It was perfect. It couldn't have gone.
I didn't even
Any
say anything in
closer
French. I said something in Spanish.
Because we saw somebody the first time we went to the Eiffel Tower who was. Did we talk about this? How aggressive
Oh yeah, that was kind of
one
kind of
woman
weird.
was to one guy, and she actually like made the
She
guy
grabbed him.
and just like, "You need to sign this."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah, that's
so
bullshit.
come on. I'm like, I'm taking your clipboard and I'm throwing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you don't touch me.
Yeah. If someone grabbed me, I'd be like, don't touch me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really quick stat. So I added up all the steps that we did over the
Oh,
past
wow.
10 days.
That's gonna be a nice number.
And this is based off of our iPhone, so it's not completely accurate. But it's 98,999 steps.
God
And
damn.
that divided by 10 days is 9,899 steps.
That's actually only not as
Yeah.
much as.
It's not as much as you think it is, but I will say the one day that you guys were hungover, it set us back a little bit.
We had really 2 days that were kind of big setbacks. I would say.
Yeah. So,
But nonetheless, that to me, I take 10,000 steps at work a day, so that's cool.
Yeah.
yeah.
It doesn't make me feel as bad for how many baguettes and bread and cheese and beer that I drank. 'Cause
Is that right?
it was a large amount of food and drinks that I had. But you know, you're on
A lot of
vacation.
carbs. A lot of carbs.
You know,
And it was good. It was all good.
It was all good.
Yeah.
Most of it.
Yeah. Some better than others.
Those weenies were questionable. Both times you had.
Yeah, we got to talk about the pregame, the pregame meal that we had for the PSG game, because this place it's like the main place people go, I would say.
Yeah, it's called Le Deux Stades, which means the two stadiums.
Right outside the stadium, and you can get this hot dog, and it's
No, it's
two
a sandwich.
or
Well,
sandwich,
it's supposed to be like a sausage sandwich, but they're glissies for
and
sure.
these are pale ass boiled 2 hot dogs in a baguette. It's about a foot long.
Yeah.
With no sauce.
With no sauce,
Yeah.
and you get to like spread your own
Yeah.
mayo and mustard on it. I didn't think it was that bad. It got the job done.
Yeah.
You domed the whole thing, which I thought was very impressive.
Well, I wanted to hold myself over because I knew we weren't getting home till probably midnight.
and we weren't.
Yes.
We didn't buy anything,
No.
In the stadium.
I mean, it would have been the same shit in the stadium probably, anyways.
and they did not sell beer in the stadium.
They sold anyways.
Non-alcoholic.
Yeah.
And I did see a lot of people have those.
You know, I saw a lot of people with coffee.
Really.
Honestly, I saw
Yeah.
so many cups of coffee go by.
And I know I said that I wanted to get an non-alcoholic beer just to, have something to drink, but at the same time, it wouldn't have been worth it because it would just make me have to piss for no benefit.
Exactly.
Well, and
Yeah.
what was the situation in the stadium with the seating?
Oh, the seating was awful.
It was tight,
Yeah, airtight.
vacuum sealed tight,
Like,
tighter than what we were sitting in the airplane.
And
Yeah.
honestly, once the game started, you didn't want to get up.
no.
No.
I did not want to leave my seat at all.
We luckily both went pee right before the game started, and we didn't get up after that.
Yeah.
Except to stand up to watch the game, but we didn't like physically leave our seats
Right.
until the game was over.
But Park Prince was a good time no matter what.
Absolutely, it was a
Absolutely.
great time.
The
Awesome.
energy.
The energy was great.
Crazy.
And we'll get to it.
Yeah, we can talk a little more
A little
when we
later.
get there, yeah. We've rambled a little bit, but
Did we say what kind of prosecco you're drinking?
The
Fuck if I know.
3 bottle, or 3
It's not French.
euro
Perlino.
Perlino.
Perlino. Okay.
Little prosecco.
Extra dry product of Italy.
Well, yeah, it's prosecco.
Is that only from Italy?
Yes.
Yeah, like champagne's only from France.
Oh.
From Champagne, France.
Champagne.
Gotcha.
Prosecco is a specific.
So that last bottle you had was actual champagne, right?
Correct.
Correct. Yeah.
So we can say that we actually had champagne from France, just not in like the traditional way of going somewhere and having like a tasting.
Correct.
Sweet.
I guess that's one thing I wish we could have fit in, but it never really would have worked out.
We fit in what we fit in.
Yeah.
You know, people are going to ask us about this trip, and they're going to say, "Oh, you should have done this. Oh, you should have done that."
Don't. Please don't.
Please don't say that.
But we did a lot.
We did
we
do a lot.
did a lot.
We did everything, almost everything we wanted.
We got all the
We
tourists.
got the necessary things in, I believe.
And you know, I said to you guys earlier, do you think we're ever gonna come back here ever again? Maybe, you know, obviously maybe not the three of us together again, but just individually.
Very good chance I will never come back.
There's
Here's the
a
thing:
good
is
chance.
you could come back and see other parts of France and go wine tasting.
Sure, yeah.
You know, you could go to Burgundy, you could go to Champagne,
Yeah.
you could even go to the south of France. You know, but here specifically in this city, probably not.
I may not come. Yeah, Paris.
The
maybe
only
not.
reason I came back here is because the first time I went was school, and I wanted to do it on my own terms. You know?
We were talking about if we were to come back, maybe London or like what you said.
Yeah, somewhere in the UK would be fun, or Ireland.
So, you know, hopefully it's not the last time. Maybe it is, but we got to see all the main things. I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
Mostly the Eiffel Tower. Like, at least I got to say I saw the Eiffel Tower.
You saw your girl Mona too.
Mona Lisa was cool. Mona Lisa was cool. She was very small, like people have said she is.
Yeah.
The line was ridiculously long, but I got a decent picture.
No, yeah. I mean, to be honest, being in there was borderline miserable for me because it was hot as fuck.
It was warm.
And you felt like herded
And
cattle.
yeah, and we had like maybe a couple too many drinks before we went in there.
Probably.
But nonetheless, something that needed to be done.
Yeah, I was hurting too at that point.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were at the Louvre pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think
I think we
less
were
than
there
an
for like
hour.
an hour and a half.
Yeah, less than an hour inside, I would say.
Yeah, just because. Honestly, we were there for that long because
Oh,
people.
right.
Trying to get around people and
Yeah.
trying to find a bathroom that had no wine.
Yeah.
And it's hard for me because, you know, we went to that one art museum, you know, like early last week.
Yeah,
And then-
D'Orsay.
Mm-hmm.
And then even going to Versailles and then the Louvre, I guess I can't appreciate art as much as other people do.
See, I think you guys liked Versailles so much because it was a little bit more history based.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
there was-
exactly.
There was history there. People lived there. All that stuff.
You can kind of get more of a feel of that time as well.
Exactly.
Rather
Like
than just looking at a piece
Like
of
you're
art.
walking through the halls of these same people who walked the halls hundreds of years ago.
Mm.
That's what's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With
Hundreds of years, is that?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
With the Louvre.
There's just shit on the walls.
Yeah, it's just a place.
Yeah.
It all kind of came together. They put it all in place.
And we're not shitting on art people. You know, more power to you.
Art
Different
people-
strokes, but we're not art people.
No.
Not to the core, no. I can appreciate it, but I'm not just like absolutely wowed by it like I would be at like a music museum or something like that. You know
Sure.
what I mean?
Sure,
That's
sure,
like
sure.
something for me. I'd be like, oh my god, this is really cool.
Right.
Or like a monument, or more of a historical museum.
Or like going to see the PSG game. Like I was more wowed
Oh, yeah.
being there than I probably was at any art museum that we saw. Did
I
you
think
guys?
atmosphere was a big factor in that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's
I
like,
think we
but,
definitely appreciated architecture more.
Yes.
you know, the
Agree.
architecture of the city is beautiful.
Definitely agree with that.
No doubt about that.
Anyway, sports.
Yes,
Sports.
Let's go back to sports. We have the Super Bowl, obviously, to talk about.
Yep.
We have a little bit of other NFL news mixed in there, too. Of course, PSG, like we were just talking about. And as always, last call.
We got lots to talk about in last call today.
Yes, we do.
Wow.
So let's start with the Super Bowl. Let's get it out of the way. Get football season sort of done with. I know
Football is done.
We're gonna have, you know, of course, off season news to talk about as it goes, but football season is officially over. We watched this game. Of course, Devin unfortunately wasn't with us, but she
I was
watched.
injured.
She watched here.
Yeah, Devin kinked her neck really bad, and it was kind of a bummer that she wasn't able to join us
Yeah.
at O'Sullivan's, this bar that we went to.
Mm-hmm.
But it's okay. I watched most of the game.
I'm happy that you were able to watch the game on the laptop that you so graciously gave me.
Yeah. Plenty of American people at O'Sullivan's.
The place was packed.
Yeah, Irish pub.
And the place, it was 12:30 when the game started at night.
Right,
In
and
the
it was
morning.
packed. Yeah,
In
and
the
it
morning.
stayed pretty full for the whole game. Yeah,
I would say at halftime, it started
people
to clear
cleared
out.
out a little bit
After Rihanna, because we were next to what seemed to be 15 to 20 college kids.
Yeah.
I told you I saw a couple of Boston College hats,
Yeah.
like Boston College lacrosse. I thought maybe these kids might have all been abroad
Yeah,
or maybe just on a trip.
Yeah,
like that.
maybe. It's a good call.
And, you know, it was cool. It was kind of nice to be able to hear, you know, English being spoken, you know, that kind of stuff. We didn't
Right.
talk to any of the people.
no.
You know, a couple of the people that were in that group were Eagles fans, and they were
Yeah.
they were riding a high,
Right.
and they hit the lowest of the low.
Unbelievable game though.
Speaking of people clearing out after Rihanna, did you guys see the stat that there were 113 million Super Bowl watchers and then 118.7 million
Rihanna
halftime
watchers.
show watchers?
Yeah, that's not shocking though.
No.
I mean, yeah, getting that many more people to tune in for the concert part.
For somebody who hasn't performed in like easily 5 years.
Is that right? I didn't know
think
that.
that's why, because she
Yeah.
hasn't performed
I
in
did
such a
not know
long
that.
time. Also, my ASAP Rocky Bowl prediction wasn't
Wrong.
right, but he was there.
He was there.
He
He was in the building.
He was there watching his girl.
He was a doting boyfriend.
He didn't perform. I really thought he was going to. There was points where I thought Kanye was going to play. I thought Jay-Z was going to come out. I thought Drake was going to come out.
There were plenty of opportunities for somebody.
I didn't think you thought Eminem was going to come out based off this TikTok stuff, but Eminem performed last year at the Super Bowl. I just didn't see him
Right.
being like a back-to-back type guy.
I just with that whole theory that we won't get into. I just don't think "Love the Way You Lie" was Super Bowl energy.
No,
you
it's
know?
not at all. It's
And that's the thing for Rihanna. She had a limited amount of time, and she had to get all her hits out. Right? Not even all of them. There are plenty of people who are pissed that a couple songs didn't make it in there. But she didn't have time to bring extra people out because with extra people, everybody's like, and you can't perform for a hot second. And she didn't have time. She was rolling through.
She probably pumped out 10 songs.
yeah, and
Yeah.
and probably did not reach a minute. I don't think on any of those
30
songs.
seconds or less.
Yeah,
What 10
Yeah.
songs in a 15-minute span? She probably pumped out
if not
shorter.
shorter, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
No, I don't think it was 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I think she did great. There were a lot of people.
No, I thought she was good too.
Who were
I
pissed
thought
she
it
didn't
was
bring
good.
people
It was.
out.
I would say it was also impressive how she would the transitions that they were making
Yeah.
with the songs.
Yeah.
I thought it was impressive how she was on that stage.
That stage was
Oh my
sketch.
God.
kind of moving, and she's apparently pregnant again. The fact that she was willing to do that, and I don't know if she was like maybe secretly harnessed or something.
No,
because
she was
felt-
strapped in. You can see it.
Oh,
she
was?
was
Okay. I
anchored to
wasn't-
the stage.
Because I was gonna say, man, if she wasn't anchored in and she was like pregnant and willing to do this, that's
Oh no,
that's ballsy.
that's
right.
like an OSHA violation. You can't not be strapped into
Yeah,
that.
she was up there too.
If she would have fallen from that, that would have been completely her fault.
Yeah.
And it was a good show. You know, it wasn't too much.
Right.
I mean, I guess the stages being
The stages were cool.
That's I guess that, you could say that's a little much.
She made the entire football field a runway.
Yeah.
It wasn't ridiculous like the Katy Perry one was.
Exactly.
Yeah. That was a little over the top.
Well, didn't Lady Gaga repel from the ceiling in one of them? Was it like she like fell?
She maybe.
I don't recall.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't
I
know
think
if
she.
I saw
I
that
think
one.
she had some kind of like she was strapped in, but I think
Yeah.
she like jumped from like a high part of the stadium.
You need the stadium to be closed though, and the stadium in Arizona was not closed; it was open.
Yeah, that's true.
So, but football.
Yeah. Incredible game.
It was an incredible.
Unbelievable
It was a
Super Bowl game. I mean, we
We've been
in
blessed.
our lifetime we have been blessed, but they haven't always been good in like some of the more recent ones. Like obviously the Chiefs got blown out by Kansas City a couple years ago.
The Chiefs
last
got
year was a
blown
good
out
game.
By Kansas City.
I mean by Tampa Bay. Sorry. Thank you.
It's like, hello?
Gage wouldn't have caught that. So
Seahawks Broncos.
Seahawks Broncos was not that long ago.
Blowout.
You're kind of just used to seeing one team choke a little bit.
Yeah,
Colts Saints.
that was a while ago now though. I'm
Yeah.
thinking more like last 10 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's definitely the best one
Making me feel old. Thanks.
as of late. Great game. Both teams came.
Oh yeah,
to
the
play.
last two Super Bowls have been good, I would say. But yeah, and high-powered offenses in this game. Eagles did take a 24-14 lead into the half, which is why our Eagles buddies were feeling so good, like you mentioned.
They were feeling nice. They had Eagles shirts on,
Yep.
Eagles hats.
Yep. Eagles were pretty well represented in the bar. Chiefs, somewhat, but not
Saw
the same.
A couple.
They were wearing jerseys though, the Chiefs fans. I wouldn't say so about I didn't see any.
I saw Eagles
one.
shirts.
One Eagle, the Dawkins jersey. That was a
Yeah, I
nice
did
one.
see that.
That's the only jersey.
And I don't
can
even think
recall.
that was a jersey. I think that was a jersey shirt because it was kind of like a tie-dye type deal he had going on.
Okay, I didn't.
But it did
pay
say
that close
Dawkins 20 and 20 on
Yeah,
the front
yeah.
and back. There was also, shout out, Bills jersey there. We saw a Tom
Josh
Brady
Allen,
jersey.
Baller.
Did we see a Vikings jersey there too?
I don't remember.
Who was in that group of people? Remember, it was the Bills fan, the Patriots fan, and the...
It was.
Was it another AFC?
I think it was just those three, wasn't it?
Maybe.
I think there was an Eagles fan sitting right with those
They
people
might
as
have
well.
been, yeah. Saw I think someone working at O'Sullivan's who was rocking just a plain old gray hoodie.
So-
Had
It said
the NFL logo on it.
Well, it was funny like during this because we're gonna recap during last call all the sports apparel that we've seen since the last episode.
It's been a lot.
It felt like on Super Bowl day, you saw a lot of just random NFL gear come out. You know?
Absolutely.
So I think that was kind of the case at the bar as well.
And we weren't going to keep count at the bar because there was a lot.
It wouldn't have been authentic in that
No.
regard because we were looking for
I do want to give a shout out to the one Cowboys gear, one beanie that I saw walking
You
out
did,
of the
you
Super
did.
Bowl. I was like, fuck yeah, let's go. No Niners gear. Sorry.
No Niners gear.
It's all right.
Everyone's still hurt from a couple weeks ago.
You didn't see any Niners gear this whole trip, right? Okay.
No.
We'll get to that.
Did
We'll
not.
get to that.
Yeah, we'll get there. Overall, though, Jalen Hurts was fantastic in this game. He accounted for 374 yards. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Was pretty money for most of the first half. He did have the huge fumble that led to the scoop and score, though, in the second quarter.
He's going to think about that one for a long
Yeah,
time.
it's going to be a tough. I mean, although even with that, okay, you could say they take a 24-7 lead into the half or 24-10, whatever, instead of only a 10-point lead, but they still took a 10-point lead into the half, so you couldn't have been feeling too bad.
No.
So it wasn't really. You can't put anything on Jalen Hurts in this game. I don't
No.
know.
Because without him there, that game would
Yeah,
have been
3 rushing touchdowns too.
The Chiefs did win this game 38-35, by the way.
Yes. Of course, Patrick Mahomes won the MVP of the game. Finally had a true MVP type performance in the Super Bowl.
Which we were talking about.
Yeah.
We didn't know.
Yeah.
The past two, it wasn't great.
Did you see that interview he was? Oh, you guys were watching Sky One Sports when it wasn't actual football being had. It was Sky One Sports, right?
Right.
Because there was I don't know what their names are, but there was one woman doing the pregame spiel, and she was on the Chiefs side, and she was talking about the interview she had done with Patrick Mahomes earlier that morning, and he's like, honestly, I don't perform well in the Super Bowl. He's like,
Oh, he admitted that?
Yeah, he's like, I just don't, and I need to change that today,
Oh, nice.
and he definitely did.
And this game, it's passing yards. If you look just at the passing yards, you're probably thinking, ooh, they probably didn't win this game.
Right.
But he did go 21 for 27,
Just
3
surgical.
touchdowns, 6 carries for 44 yards, and he had a key carry off that bum ankle. 'cause
That scramble late in the
He did
game?
twist his ankle again, but he had that scramble.
Yeah. On the game-winning
He
drive.
looked in pain too.
Yeah.
To be
Well,
honest.
he came back out in the second half and he looked much better. So I'm sure they did something. You know, everyone's speculating the
Well,
drugs that were injected or whatever.
They put
But
some non-FDA approved shit in his
Right.
little-
He had a 96.4 QBR and 131.8 passer rating, which is very good on both ends.
I mean, 96.4 is almost perfect. You can only get to 100. So, yeah, if you look at those numbers, and yeah, just the scrambles for first downs, 3 touchdown passes. Also, a lot of credit to Andy Reid though for dialing up a beautiful game plan.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think the biggest factor here is that the Chiefs allowed 0 sacks to the team that far and away led the league in sacks
Yeah.
this year.
And I'm glad you mentioned that because what was the biggest reason why you thought the Chiefs lost, or the biggest reason why the Chiefs lost the game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 2 years ago?
They could not protect Patrick Mahomes.
They could not protect Patrick Mahomes, and I'm so happy for Andy Reid that he said, you know what, we have to protect our quarterback to win this game
Yeah.
again, and they did, and
Yeah.
it showed.
I think another thing that I noticed, at least, is that there were a lot of route combinations that were run where he could get the ball out quickly too.
Yes.
Like he wasn't I mean, I wouldn't say he never was holding the ball for a while, but a lot of their completions were on quick, 5-yard ins or rub routes that got guys open quickly that didn't allow the Eagles pass rush to get there.
Kansas City, on the ground, 26 carries, 158 yards. That's about 6 yards a carry.
Yeah, that was pretty dominant.
But
That was one of the Eagles' defense's weaknesses. They weren't spectacular against the run, so they took advantage of that.
Yeah. Pacheco, 15 carries for 76 yards,
Yeah,
and
nice
1
game.
touchdown.
Very nice game.
In the passing game for both teams, Travis Kelce, of course, had a Travis Kelce type game.
Yeah, no doubt.
6 receptions, 81 yards, 1 touchdown. Doesn't this just seem like his average?
That's Travis Kelce.
That's
right there.
Travis Kelce.
80 yards and a tutty.
80 yards and a tutty. On the other side, Devontae Smith, I didn't even realize he had 100 yards.
Yeah, he had a good game. He had hit those 2 long balls.
7 receptions, 100 yards. And A.J. Brown, 6 receptions, 96 yards, and 1 touchdown, which was
Spectacular.
a dime
Yeah.
and a great catch on both ends.
Yeah. Going back to Mahomes though, like his game, it doesn't look super sexy stat sheet wise, but it kind of reminded me of Joe Burrow's performance in the snow against the Bills. I don't want to rub it in there, Devin.
But that's okay.
But not doing too much, just taking what the defense is giving you, moving the chains.
Doing
Well,
what he has to do to win the game.
Right.
Joe Burrow doesn't have to do that much that game because the Bills suck.
Well, and this kind of reminds me too of How many times has Tom Brady won a game like this in the playoffs?
Just dinking and dunking the ball.
Taking and dunking,
right down the field.
giving it to his receivers, giving it to his tight end, doing
Yeah.
what he has to do to win the game. And I'm so glad for Patrick Mahomes that he's realizing that he doesn't have to throw for 400 yards to win
Yeah,
the game.
and he doesn't have to just wait for guys to get open way down the field all the time. I think we talked about Tyreek Hill could be an issue not being there this year, but at the same time thinking, well, maybe that'll reel him in a little bit, and he'll be more of a pure, surgeon of the defense, if you will, not to be too corny. And I think he was exactly that this game.
Chiefs in the second half, 0 turnovers, 0 punts, 0 penalties, and 1 incompletion.
It's crazy.
That's pretty much, and the 0 sacks like you mentioned.
Right.
That's pretty much the perfect second half you could have in any game,
Right.
and they had it in the biggest game of the season.
Right.
When they needed it.
I think another crazy thing is that the Chiefs put up 38 points, although one of those touchdowns being defense and one set up very well by Kadarius Toney 65-yard punt return. But
That was a
30,
huge
yeah,
punt return.
but 38 points with only 24 minutes of possession in the game.
I'm glad you brought that up because the Chiefs once again overcome a 10-point deficit to win the Super Bowl. Sorry about it. You know what the first one was. But this is kind of like what they did against the Niners.
A little bit.
They scored, 20 unanswered points in the second half or the fourth quarter?
Yeah.
What was it? We talked about it a couple days ago. It's something along those lines.
Right.
But just the Chiefs, it shows how quickly they can do things.
I never felt like they were out of this game. I mean, the game against the Niners were holding the offense down a little more than in this game with the Eagles. But yeah, definitely some similarities with the comeback.
If I'm giving someone the player of the game in a losing effort, it's Jalen Hurts. I know you mentioned him
Oh my
already,
God,
but
yeah.
he proved that he can play this game at a high level.
Yeah.
He had 3 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, and a passing touchdown. He was other than the fumble, he was perfect.
And he seems different than the other rushing quarterbacks that we've seen. I mean, Lamar Jackson's, I guess, a little different because he's had kind of better success than Jalen Hurts up to this point.
Yeah.
But I feel like Jalen Hurts as a thrower is better than Cam Newton was coming from a
He's got a nice ball. Yeah.
running quarterback.
Right.
So I'm Jalen Hurts being in the division that I root for, it sucks because I think the Eagles are going to be. It's probably going to be Eagles and Cowboys. I mean, even the Giants are good now.
Right.
They're well coached.
Right.
I think Daniel Jones isn't really that guy.
I think, I would be worried until the Eagles eventually have to pay Jalen Hurts and considering what kind of contract he's going to command.
But he's not going to get paid for probably, 2 more years?
I think he's got one more guaranteed season on this contract, so it's coming up.
He'll go
So,
somewhere
so,
else.
so this is the year that he...
I doubt that. It's
I
just
don't
they're going to have
think
to
so.
lose players.
Yeah.
This is the year that they really have to go for it,
Right.
from a money standpoint.
Right.
So Eagles, you just lost 2 of your coordinators, so
Right. That too.
that kind of sucks.
That's going to be the worst kind of game to lose for Jalen Hurts. I mean, obviously it's a Super Bowl. You don't want to lose a Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's tough.
But at the same time, he played a really good game,
Yeah.
too, right? Like, he potentially played a winning game.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But they just weren't as
I mean-
good as the Chiefs.
I mean, I would say more so it's the Eagles defense that let them down, especially in that second half. They just could not stop the Chiefs.
They just weren't as good.
Jalen Hurts did what he had to do.
Yeah.
That's a bummer. That would be the hardest way for me to lose. If you just don't come to play that day, or
Right.
you don't have a good day, or you get hurt or
It
something
is what
like
it
that,
is.
you're like,
We just weren't that
but
team.
damn, we just weren't good enough.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts is not the type of guy that was going to point fingers. We know this. And I know he's going to put it on himself for having that fumble, which is very uncharacteristic for
Yeah.
how he's playing.
And it
this
wasn't
season.
even really forced. He kind of just dropped the ball, trying
And
to transition it.
Dropped it, and he kicked it himself.
Yeah.
And that kind of.
Yikes. And
Yeah,
then just
that
put
was
that
tough.
touchdown. Ooh,
That was tough.
that was tough.
So Patrick Mahomes, we know how great this guy is.
I'm here.
I'm here. It's his second Super Bowl title. He joins Tom Brady, Joe Montana, your boy, Terry Bradshaw, Bart Starr, and Eli Manning as the only 2-time Super Bowl MVPs. Isn't that?
Oh wow.
I don't even think it's
Oh,
quarterbacks.
that's
I think it's just overall
2 times.
2-time Super Bowl MVPs.
Joe has 3 or 4.
I think Joe and I have 3.
One's a co-MVP. Is that right with Jerry?
Something along those
Yeah.
lines.
Is that a
yeah.
thing?
I
guess it was.
I think it might have been back then.
Wow.
So when I first saw that stat, I'm like, oh, it's just quarterbacks. But I think it's overall players.
Okay.
I thought maybe Emmitt Smith might have had 2 in the 90s, but it was...
Did he have any?
He had 1.
He had one.
Troy had 1. He had 1. And then defender for the Cowboys in that third one that they won. He had a couple
I would say
picks.
it's probably any position because who wins the MVP most often? Quarterback.
I thought maybe Terrell Davis might have won when they won back-to-back, but he won one and John Elway won the other.
Okay.
So, also, Patrick Mahomes joins Tom Brady and your boy Joe Montana as the only players in history with 2 league MVPs and 2 Super Bowl MVPs.
Wow. That's elite company.
Yeah. And also Patrick Mahomes is the first player in league history with 2 league and Super Bowl MVPs in his first 6 seasons.
It's wild.
This dude is-
and he's only really started for 5 of those seasons.
He's
Unstoppable.
I've already seen people on ESPN and all that saying that he's maybe surpassed Joe Montana already. I'm not going with that. I'm not going with that. He has to win 1 more.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
mean, I think he has to win 2 more to even be in the conversation. Maybe another MVP on top of that.
Yeah.
But you can't just surpass this guy over Joe Montana. He's great, and he's going to be great, and he's probably going to win 4 or 5 of these bad boys.
You could say his trajectory is to be better than Joe Montana, but he's got to do it.
Yeah.
See, this is the thing with this type of conversation is it's happening all over every sports news network, and it probably will for the next 2 weeks, and then it'll trickle off because
Yeah.
baseball will start. But like, let the man live. Let him ride out his career a little bit before you start having the
Making assumptions.
GOAT conversation.
Yeah.
Well, let's just point out that Patrick Mahomes now has more Super Bowls than, obviously, Dan Marino,
Mm-hmm.
Brett Favre,
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers. He has the same as Peyton Manning.
Yep.
He has more than
Same as Ben.
Drew Brees. Same
Yeah.
as Ben.
Same as Eli.
Same as Eli. It's pretty much Aikman, Bradshaw.
And how old is he? Like 25, 26?
Like
How old is
27,
he?
I think.
27?
Yeah.
It's got the same as Jimmy G.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
I mean, he only has more. He only has less than what Aikman, Bradshaw, Montana, and Brady as a quarterback.
Yeah.
True.
Did you say Steve Young? Because technically
Steve
Steve
Young
Young
has
has
3.
1. Technically.
Technically he has 3.
Well, technically he has 1 as a starter.
Yes, he does.
Yeah. One that he
Well,
actually played
he's
in.
27.
He has 1 that he played in.
You're right. Yes. So I mean, Mahomes already is above all of these
Legends.
in winning.
Remember when my mom said Troy Aikman was fat?
Devin just made me nearly spit my beer out.
She walked up to the TV a couple weeks ago. She goes, "Is that Troy Aikman? He used to be still hot. Now he's fat."
Troy Aikman still looks great. I think
He looks great.
for being
I
in
think
his
it's
60s
just
probably.
in his face a little bit.
Is he in his 60s?
Oh, he's
No.
probably in his late 50s.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe so.
So I agree with your point. I think we should stop doing this GOAT debate because we can go on for probably another 15
You
minutes.
just gotta think about what
Jail?
this can do to him. Yes,
Well,
please.
what, overall GOAT debates?
No, I think the
He's 56
premature GOAT debates,
because he's 27.
which
years
could be a
old.
fun one to put in jail because then you could flag someone even though they're not realizing it.
Do it. Put it in jail.
Okay, I'll put it in jail.
I think that's a good.
That is a good.
Look at this.
But-
First jail in a while, right?
First one.
Or did we just
since-
put one recently?
We took out the Kevin Durant one.
Mm-hmm.
We took out the Tom Brady one because he retired.
Right.
So-
Oh yeah, the
No
Some of these
more
are good.
the CFP one.
premature GOAT.
The second one.
The CFP one is actually pretty recent.
This, yeah. The CFP one is gonna get me soon. I can already tell.
Yeah.
What's the date today? 2
I almost just started talking about it.
2/15. 23. There
Yeah.
Well,
we go.
that's not the CFP. It's the.
It's the debate about what we like better.
Well, but it's that what 2 teams just decided to start in a different division a year early.
Oh yeah, Oklahoma. Well, like we could talk about Oklahoma and Texas moving early. That's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
more-
not CFP.
Not related. No.
Yeah.
So no more premature GOAT debates.
Yes.
Is that ever gonna end? No.
No.
That's a good one to put in jail because
It is overdone.
You
It's
can
overdone.
honestly
overdone.
slowly add people's names to that too and remove them once they're getting close to retirement.
Yeah, because I think you have to have built up a at least semi-full career before you can have that debate, right?
Absolutely. When Patrick Mahomes is in his late 30s, sure, go ahead, talk about it. Talk
so like if
about
I
it.
mention LeBron James, that's not premature.
No, that's absolutely not
Yeah.
premature. But if you start talking about like,
I think even if once Patrick Mahomes reaches like his 10th or 11th year, give or take, that's even fair. You know, if he's done enough to be in that conversation.
even like people are talking about Joe Burrow right now. Like, first of all, he hasn't done anything.
He ain't won shit.
Second of all,
Sweetheart.
he's so young.
He's won an
Leave him
AFC championship.
alone.
Oh, cool. So is Jimmy G, except on the other side.
Do you want to grab us a couple beers, please?
Oh yeah, sure. Oh, sorry. I didn't-
Also, I want to take this moment real quick before we stop talking about football for. Actually, no, it's a lie. because we're going to mention other NFL news.
Yeah.
Emerson in 2018, 2019 said that Patrick Mahomes would never win a Super Bowl in his career. And,
I made a bet, okay, and it's been paid.
Who did you make this bet with?
Austin Ryan Brown.
And do you know the ultimate irony?
What?
He
Is
did
that
it against the fucking Niners.
he bet him $500,
Yeah.
and Patrick Mahomes beat the Niners in the Super Bowl. So he had to see the Niners lose to Patty and him lose $500. It was religious experience for me. It was great.
You know, I made this
Better
bet
for my mom.
like 3 games into Patrick Mahomes' career.
Why would you do that?
Because
He made.
I could. I mean, it was in hindsight a shitty bet, not because he won, but just the way I set it up for my success.
Was he not? He was pretty good in college. A&M,
Mm.
right? No.
I think everyone thought he was a reach at whatever position he got drafted at, but Texas Tech.
Tech. Damn. You know, there's TCU, Texas,
Oh, there's
Texas
a lot
A&M,
of fucking
Texas
football
Tech.
schools.
Jesus.
Houston.
Yeah, exactly. It's like they like football in Texas.
That's one.
Friday Night Lights, baby.
Yeah.
Other NFL news: Raiders released Derek Carr. Bye.
Woo!
See
Oh
ya.
my God, are you serious?
He gone.
I'm just kidding.
Oh. I'm like, yeah, where you been?
I was the one that showed that to you.
You ready for the quarterback carousel game in the coming weeks?
Yeah.
Who do you think's going to the Raiders? Don't say Aaron Rodgers.
They're gonna draft a quarterback, or they could do both.
Ooh, Okay.
They could probably draft
Raiders.
The Raiders.
I can't see.
Garoppolo.
I cannot see Aaron Rodgers in the silver and black.
It would be funny to see.
I could see Garoppolo's too pretty to wear silver and black though.
Did you see Aaron Rodgers'
If that makes any sense.
interview
I never
where
did.
he's like, I love Adam Schefter. I love Ian Rapport. They got nobody in my inner circle.
I didn't see that. He said that.
When they report breaking news, just immediately assume it's wrong. He's got no close contacts in my circle.
Did he say that on Pat's show?
I don't know. That was good.
That's
I liked
funny.
that.
He did say though on Pat McAfee show that as soon as he knew, he would let them know, which would be on the show, of course.
If you were to take a guess, early prediction, where does Derek Carr go?
I like the Colts for Derek Carr.
Colts.
Ooh,
Mhm.
okay.
I'm gonna go Saints.
I'm gonna say no Saints because he nixed the trade opportunity.
Yeah, he already said no.
But that doesn't mean he still couldn't go there.
Yeah.
But I think he wanted to open his options to more than just the Saints because the Saints were the only team that had agreed to compensation for the Raiders in the
With a
trade.
trade.
Yeah.
Got
Okay.
it. Interesting.
Okay.
Interesting.
Maybe
But the Saints, I thought, would be a good spot for him as well.
dark horse spot Seahawks.
You think they would move on from Geno for Derek Carr?
No.
No way. No. I think dark horse would be
Didn't you say
like
Panthers?
Jets or Panthers. Yeah.
I don't know, man. Seahawks possibly. I mean, I just feel like Geno. He's already in like the back half, and I guess Derek Carr is too.
Yeah.
The only reason I think Geno's starting next year for sure because they already talked about extension possibilities.
Maybe you're right. I'm talking on my ass.
I mean,
Those beers are getting to you.
Right.
B is.
Yeah.
All 50 beers that I've had since we've been
B,
here.
B,
Finally
it's
getting
a
there.
B-E-I-R? Yeah.
BIER.
We're back in our
With an E at the
1664
end.
hype.
Yeah. Clink.
These have been the beers of the trip.
I like these honestly.
These are
They've really grown on me.
Should we try
I never
to
thought
put
they were
some in your
bad.
suitcase?
Yeah.
Just buy you the 20 pack. Like, so your carry on 65 pounds. Why? I don't know why.
Couldn't be me.
Should we order these when we get back to the States?
Yeah, just get them shipped.
I'm gonna drink a Bud Light and be like, what the fuck is this shit?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
This is better than American light lagers.
This is, I think all of our boys would like this beer.
Yeah. That's an easy sipper.
Well, and it's so small. You're
It-
crushing like 5 of those.
The 8 ounce.
Do you think it helps?
I think it does.
Because it makes you not feel like you're drinking as much, but you're like, oh, I just had a beer, but it was only 8 ounces.
I could drink 6 of these.
Yeah. Also, the Eagles have lost both their coordinators to head coaching jobs just over the last couple days, actually. Offensive coordinator
Love that.
Well,
Shane.
they didn't listen before the Super Bowl.
Cry, Eagles, cry.
Shane Steichen, offensive coordinator, hired by the Colts. And then defensive coordinator Jonathan Gannon, hired by the Arizona Cardinals.
Let's see what we got, Sirianni. Let's see what you got.
Yeah,
Your boy, by the way,
yeah,
Sirianni.
fucking love that guy. It's my favorite.
He is a good fit for the Eagles.
Because he's a
Okay?
douchebag? Yes.
Yeah,
He's a
because
clown.
he's a Phillies guy.
One of the best videos I saw was when he was waving the Chiefs back,
Jalen
and then
Hurts
Jalen
grabs
Hurts.
his arm.
I love how Jalen Hurts is the more mature
Was the
guy in
bigger
the situation.
person,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like Jesus Christ, bro.
That man
Relax.
is in his 20s.
Yeah, That dude's fucking 24 and you're like pushing 40 probably.
Yeah.
Maybe older.
Cry, Eagles, cry.
Yep,
all I can
that's
say about
right.
that.
That just it's. I mean, you guys made a good point. It's a check, right? It's more money being a head coach, but like.
Oh, absolutely. But we've also seen Eric Bieniemy, the offensive coordinator of the Chiefs, turn down shitty head coaching opportunities, like with the Texans, which I understand.
And he went where?
He's still with the Chiefs.
But he's been there for a long time, and people are surprised that he hasn't been a head coach yet.
Yeah. I think what people or what teams have been hesitant about is that he has never called plays for the Chiefs. That's always been Andy Reid, which there is talk that he may leave for an offensive coordinator job where he gets to call the plays before he takes a head coaching.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But I thought I've heard that just the general environment of the Chiefs
Oh
is
yeah.
a really good place to be.
Oh, sure.
Like Andy Reid creates a very good, very positive working environment. You know, everybody has their say.
Yeah, I mean, not to toot the Warriors' horn, but Kenny Atkinson had a job lined up to be head coach of the Hornets last year and decided to stay as assistant coach for the Warriors because he
Well,
liked being
exactly. You
yeah.
like you get comfortable.
And
you
I think
like it.
I think they gave him a little pay raise, but
Yeah.